What's going on, everybody? Can you hear me okay? Oh man, I am a sleepy boy. I am a sleepy boy. Worked yesterday. I think I got about 4 hours of sleep. And me and my wife did a ton of stuff around the house today. We basically emptied out a whole room that we've been meaning. It's like, so this we have 4 bedrooms in the house. And one of the rooms is kind of like it has like a Peloton bike in it, and then basically that's the only useful thing in the room. The rest is filled with furniture from our old house and furniture from family members of my wife's who have passed away, and just a bunch of stuff. And we've been meaning to clean this room out of just things that, you know, we have, some for sentimental reasons that we. Once you realize there's no reason to keep it, or you want to sell some stuff, and we were very busy today, and I'm running on fumes, man. So I'm sitting here with a giant cup of coffee, the cup of coffee that you know what, I'm gonna post on Twitter. I'll post it on Twitter. It'll just be called my big ass cup of coffee, I guess. I don't know. Why am I doing this? You can't even tell how big this coffee mug is because, I mean, basically it's the size of my outstretched hand. It's enormous. Anyway, man, I'm sleepy, so keep me up. Let's have some interesting topics of conversation tonight. I have no topic that I want to specifically talk about, but whatever's on your mind, man, let's shoot the shit. There we go. Oscar Rodriguez, Semblance, Unknown Cars fan, Elijah, Fetman, Gavin, Christian, Kim, Samuel, Caretaker. What's up, Caretaker? 80s kid from the 90s. You're not late, man. I never say when I'm going to start these things. Who knows when I could start this at 8. I could start this at 5. I could not even start it. There is no late. There is no early. There just is. So welcome, man. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you for the first super chat, channel support of this sleepy Friday evening stream. Oscar says, writing is on my mind and research into hitchhikers. Hitchhikers. You know, I've always thought it would be interesting. Like if your safety was completely guaranteed, and I'm sure the dangers of it are significantly overblown, especially as like it's way different for like a woman hitchhiker. I'm sure it's way more nerve-wracking. But as me, I think it would be kind of fun if your safety was guaranteed, of course, to hitchhike across the country with your thumb out and just meeting people along the way. I'm sure you would encounter, like, who picks up a hitchhiker? Have any of you guys ever picked up a hitchhiker? I mean, good on you if you have, but I don't think I ever have. I honestly don't I don't really encounter very many either, but I don't think I ever have. I picked up like people that have been broken down on the side of the road. I've done that twice in my entire life. But I've never picked up like a hitchhiker with his thumb out, like with the sign that says heading south, you know. I've never done that. But it'd be kind of a little free, you know, a little, you know, wind at your back. Anything goes, wherever the wind blows kind of experience, you know. But yeah, enjoy some writing, man. Maybe put on some headphones and stay up a little late, and hash out some words. Anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. Hollow Chronology, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support as well. Hey, Greedo, hope you are well. Gonna meet Sam Witwer and Cameron Monaghan tomorrow at a con. Made me wonder who, if anybody, you have met from Star Wars. Oh, that's awesome. What convention are they gonna be at? Somewhere in Florida, isn't it? I feel like I saw Sam Witwer post something in Florida. Sam Witwer. I guess I can just wait for your response instead of Googling it. I guess I'll just do that. But yeah, I thought he was going to be somewhere in Florida that I saw. Could be wrong. But that's exciting. Yeah, are you going to like is it a thing where you take a picture with them, get an autograph, all that shit? That's fun stuff. So, you asked if I've ever met anybody from like Star Wars. To tell you the truth, I don't think I ever have. I've never met anybody that's like been in the movies. I've never met anybody from the game. I've met a lot of people that have worked on the video games like Battlefront 2 and Jedi Fallen Order. I've met the music composer for Jedi Fallen Order. The game director for Jedi Fallen Order. I've met a lot of the developers for Jedi Fallen Order and Battlefront 2. But when it comes to Star Wars, I really haven't met anyone like an actor or anything. But yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I have a bad memory, and I feel like it's the kind of thing that, you know, if you had, you would remember. But no, I really have not met anybody that's been in like a Star Wars movie or anything like that. Yeah. Certainly not Sam Witwer, which is a shame. You know, when I go to conventions, and I rarely do, and that's probably one of the reasons I haven't met anyone from Star Wars. I'm just not much of a convention guy. I mean, I've been to a couple, and I have fun when I go, but like I don't go out of my way to go to conventions. The only one that I've actually only ever been to one Star Wars celebration before. And I only went for one day. It was in 2017. It was in Orlando. I went with one of my buddies, and I just went up for the day, or went down for the day rather. And I had a good time. We went into one panel that we were able to get into. We stood in line most of the day. I think we stood in line for like 2 hours for the merch, like the merch area to get some merch. So like I waited in two lines, or a 2 hour line to. Can you guys tell that I'm very tired? I apologize, but yeah, I waited for in a 2 hour line for a coffee mug and a T-shirt, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. But yeah, I've met some other famous people, not Star Wars related, like Dan Marino. I actually drove Dan Marino around in a golf cart one time. I've met, I happened to meet Jeb Bush at the airport, and same kind of story with John Kerry, which is kind of weird, you know. I've met some Jacksonville Jaguar football players. Golly, my memory is failing me tonight. But yeah. Oh, Ocala, nice. Okay. Middle of nowhere town of mine that I discovered has had its own con for 10 years. Oh, you're from Ocala? I'm familiar with Ocala. I've got a replica of the Jedi text from TLJ. Always has been my dream to fill it with signatures. That's a really cool idea. That's a really cool idea. I like that. I'm from Florida too, Holocron. I'm from St. Augustine, Jacksonville, around here. But yeah, enjoy it, man. Nice. But I appreciate that holochronology. Enjoy yourself. Metallic Madness. Thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Hey, Greedo, did you ever get a chance to watch Tales of the Jedi? If so, what did you think? I actually have not seen it yet. It's kind of high on my list to watch because it's so short. You know, the less time that I have, the more I enjoy shorter media. We're actually planning on watching the new Indiana Jones tonight. You know, as much as I'm very excited to watch it, I'm honestly kind of dreading it because 2.5 hours is about my limit for a movie. I sound like a goddamn grandpa, but I'm so tired. And I hope Indiana Jones can keep me awake. But no, I haven't watched it yet, Metallic. I want to watch that. I want to watch the Clone Wars micro series from like what 2003 or whenever it was. Yeah. I also want to watch I think that's pretty much the two Star Wars things that are on top of my list. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway. I appreciate that, Metallic. Cheers, man. Hope you're enjoying your Friday. Andrew Smith, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Andrew says, what did you think of the de-aging of Hayden? I think it's the best ever. I didn't notice it. Makes me wish they would go back and fix him in Obi-Wan. Yeah, it looked good. It was it was so good and believable that it made me question if it was de-aged at all. And that's I guess maybe the proof that it was good was that you don't really notice it. You didn't really notice it, you know. I mean, maybe in my head I was trying to calculate how old he would be, and if, you know, they did de-age him, I didn't feel like there was any like cartoonish nature to his face. I thought, yeah, I mean, it was probably one of the best examples of subtle de-aging, just slight dialing back the years that I've seen. So, but that's kind of the best type of CG or de-aging, whatever you want to call it, when it's not noticeable, when it's not super front and center, when you're kind of, you don't even notice it, you know. It's not like, you know, Tarkin to me and Leia in Rogue One were they kind of were off-putting. It was kind of obvious that, I mean, I guess it looked good, but it was kind of off-putting and obvious that it wasn't, you know, there was a lot of CGI involved and whatnot. But this did not fall into that category in my opinion. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Andrew. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I mean, you know this, Andrew. I'm not a big fan of going back and changing things. So even with like the Obi-Wan series, and you want them to go back and kind of change that and fix it, or maybe make it a little better, the de-aging process and all that. For me, I kind of like the idea of just keeping the products, the shows, the movies, the way they were at the time. Make them a little time capsule of maybe the technology that they used when they made the thing. You know, it's a little time capsule for me. But anyway.
Here's my hot take. I prefer Jake Lloyd than Hayden as Anakin. Sure, Hayden looks and fights better, but personality-wise I actually like Jake more. He felt like a genuine kind soul, and I can't wait to see how he would turn.
French Canadian Wolfman, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. I greatly appreciate that, man. Wolfman says, here's my hot take. I'm curious if anybody agrees with him here. Here's my hot take. I prefer Jake Lloyd than Hayden as Anakin. Sure, Hayden looks and fights better, but personality-wise, I actually like Jake more. He felt like a genuine kind soul, and I couldn't wait to see how he would turn. I can kind of agree with that in the sense of when you just look at the 3 prequels. I think Jake Lloyd, as much shit as he's gotten over the years, felt more natural in the role than Hayden did. Hayden felt very robotic, felt very, and I don't fault his acting. He's a good actor, but everything felt very robotic. The delivery. So I don't know if I 100% agree, but I can kind of see where you're coming from. I think Jake Lloyd did have a very natural sensibility to him. He didn't feel robotic. He felt, I guess a kind soul is a good way to put it. But I would disagree with his appearance in Ahsoka. I think, it's very subtle. We don't see him for very long. There's not a lot of dialogue that he's spitting out, but I think this was his best performance in a Star Wars thing, And I think if you compare Jake Lloyd to Hayden Christensen's Anakin, between The Phantom Menace and Ahsoka, I think Hayden feels more natural. I don't know. I don't know. That is a yeah. That is the hottest of takes, Brandon says. I like it. But anyway, I appreciate that, Wolfman. Thank you so much for the generous Friday evening sleepy live stream. There we go. All right. Let's see. Take care, caretaker. Thanks for hanging out and keeping me awake. I'm dozing, man. I'm tired. This coffee needs to kick in. Metallic Madness, thank you so much, man. Metallic says, I'm going to disagree with Andrew here. I think the best de-aging was Michael Douglas in the opening of Ant-Man, simply masterful. I don't remember that. Ant-Man, Michael Douglas. De-aging. Dude, I haven't seen Ant-Man since it came out. I'm looking at still shots of the de-aging, and these still shots look really good, like ridiculously good. Oh yeah, and they de-aged Nick Fury too, didn't they? Wait, golly. So maybe this was just so good that it's another example of just not even realizing that it was heavily de-aged. I'm excited because we're watching the new Indiana Jones tonight. I'm excited to see how they pull off a lot of the younger Harrison Ford stuff in that movie. You know, I think the best test is like, so for somebody like me or those of you in the chat, you know, you watch the new Indiana Jones movie and you know that Harrison Ford isn't in his 40s or whatever. You know that they de-aged him. So we go into this thing kind of already, we know what Harrison Ford looks like these days, and we know how Harrison Ford looked back then, and we kind of look at it with a microscope, you know. But kids who are not familiar really with Harrison Ford, maybe are watching Indiana Jones for the first time, if they don't even question it and see that it's like Computer Man on the screen rather than the actual person, if they don't even notice it, if they don't even think that it's off or weird or whatnot, then I think that's like the best. That's the best. I don't even know. That's the. the best approval, I suppose, you know. But yeah, anyway. I appreciate that, Metallic. There we go. Let me see if I can get... Oh, Jared Montauk, thank you so much for the channel support, man. What is that? I'm Iron Batman. I'm Iron Batman. Thank you so much, Jared. I appreciate that. Jared says, funny you say Hayden was robotic. He is Darth Vader after all. That's very true. That's very true. I think you could say the same thing about every character in the prequels almost. I like emotion in my dialogue, and a lot of the dialogue, that's why I don't fault the actors. A lot of it was kind of robotic and emotionless, and until certain big moments, of course, but yeah, he was Darth Vader. He is Darth Vader. That's true. But yeah, I think it's more than just Hayden Christensen. It's kind of just the dialogue in general in those movies. But anyway, I appreciate that, Jared. Cheers, man. Christopher Reeves in The Flash? We haven't watched many movies, especially like superhero movies, in so long. It's been so long since we've watched a superhero movie. But yeah. Christian, Christian. So Lando apparently is going to be turned into a movie, and not no longer a show. Which I'm excited for, because as much as I've enjoyed some of these shows, I'm really missing Star Wars on the big screen, and who knows if this is ever going to be made? Who knows how long it's going to take to be made? But the idea of getting a Lando movie on the big screen rather than like a limited series or whatever is way more exciting at the moment. And, maybe a few years ago when it was first announced and we weren't inundated with a lot of Star Wars shows, I would have said the opposite. But right now I'm kind of, I'm really thirsty for Star Wars on the big screen, So, I'm a fan of the idea. I hope it actually happens. But yeah. Anyway. Oscar Rodriguez, Ben, and Metallic, thank you guys so much. Oscar says, imagine getting a deepfake Jake Lloyd Anakin ghost. Dude, you can make it. That would actually be kind of fun for me to make. Maybe I'll make that. The problem is I have no idea how to make that stuff. I wouldn't even know where to begin. But I like the idea. If anybody out there wants to make it and get some views on YouTube, I'm sure it would do pretty well. How would you do that? You'd have to make them shorter. Or, you know what you could do? You could take Jake Lloyd's mugshot and use that in the deep fake of him being older. That might actually be kind of funny. I mean, I don't want to do that to the guy, but, you know. Yeah. Anyway, Oscar, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the idea. Anyway. Ben Rackett, thank you so much for the super chat and channel support. Ben says, hey, Greedo, fire test in October. Advice. Nice. Are you... So you're finishing up with the academy and you're taking, like, the state test, I'm assuming? So the state test, it's nerve-wracking, right? So I don't know what they had you guys do. But so much of my academy was preparing for the state test. The written portion, I was more nervous for the written portion just because, you know, we didn't really spend too much time in the books, and book work and that kind of stuff was kind of left to us to do. There really wasn't much classroom time, so I was more nervous with that stuff than anything. The physical... state test, then the academy. So what kind of tests do you take before you go to the academy? Is it like a physical agility test? Interesting. There really wasn't, when I went to the academy, there really wasn't any kind of test to get in. You basically just had to be EMT certified. You had to be an EMT. That was really it. And then you went to the academy. And then the first week of the academy, they just kind of beat you down, and we just PT'd and did so much physical stuff that it basically weeded people out who weren't ready for it, you know? So that the first week of the academy was basically a test, a physical agility test. Not by name, but they just pushed everybody as far as they could. Yeah, I'm curious what kind of test you're taking before you go into the academy. If it's a physical test, for me, you know, I do a little bit of everything. I'm a runner. I run all the time. I ran 4 miles today. And to me, so much of firefighting is cardio. You know, I do weights and stuff like that too, all the time, but I primarily focus on cardio, because, you know, when you're fighting fire, yeah, I mean, you see guys with like enormous muscles and they're just huge and roided up, but they last 5 minutes in a fire. Now, me and the guys that I work with who train cardio all the time, we go in and we fight the fire, and we are, you know, our SCBA bottles will start dinging and telling us we're low on oxygen, and then we'll go out of the fire and swap bottles and go right back in. It's because we're cardio heavy, you know. And I would highly recommend, more than anything, training cardio in this profession. But, so let's see. The PT part simulates parts of the job in a written portion. It's a lot of situational type questions from what I've heard. They have you bring gear upstairs, break down a fake door, etc. Okay, all right. Well, the problem with that is that you haven't gone through the academy and you don't know exactly what to do. Maybe it's just to see if you can physically handle it, which I guess is good. But you haven't learned the techniques to do like a force entry. You haven't learned the proper way to hoist gear, or even carry like a high-rise pack, you know. That's interesting to me. I mean, really, you know, if it's mostly physical, then what can you do? I mean, you just bust your ass. You know, you work to the point of exhaustion, and when you feel like you can't go any further, you go further, because this is your opportunity to get into the academy, to you know, to start your career. So you're surrounded by a bunch of people who can help you out if you drop. So don't worry about that. Push yourself. There is no quit. So yeah, I wish I knew a little bit more of the tests that you're going to be taking. It sounds like what you do after the academy, honestly. Like my academy test was a bunch of scenarios, like cutting a hole in a roof for ventilation with a chainsaw. I had to throw a ladder in front of in front of a third-story window and climb up it and go inside and retrieve a dummy and drag the dummy down the stairs and out of the structure. I had to do a courtyard lay. I had to pull lines. I had to repair a burst section of a hose. I had to use multiple different types of extinguishers and explain why you use certain types of extinguishers on certain fires. There was some more stuff too. What's called a last resort scenario, where there's a prop set up to where it's a room that's basically built like a real room, and what you have to do in this scenario is call a mayday. So you call your mayday over the radio, and then you try to free yourself, and they want you to bust out a section of drywall and go in between the studs. You can take off your pack and you go through the studs and go into the whole purpose of this drill is, like, if you're in a room that is getting overrun with fire and you need to get out, you bust out a section of drywall and crawl between two studs and go into a room that is hopefully safer, you know. So there's a lot of stuff like that we did. But yeah, Ben, that's what I would recommend. Like, if you're cardio, man, cardio and firefighting, it's to me, it's the by far the most important exercise. But yeah, and no matter what that cardio is, you know, I like running. Maybe you want to do the elliptical. Maybe you like to do even what I've been doing a lot is I have a 40-pound weight vest. So I'll get on the treadmill and I'll crank it to like a 10% elevation, or an incline rather, and I'll walk for a couple miles. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Ben. Good luck to you. Let me know how it goes. Let me take a quick sip of the old coffee. There we go. I appreciate everybody's patience. But Ben, yeah, anyway, good luck, Ben. It's a fun job. It can be a little stressful. It all depends on your crew. And you don't get much sleep. But it's fun. Anyway. Cheers. Metallic, Boat, Oscar, Andrew, and Brandon, thank you guys so much for the channel support tonight. Metallic says, I have an 8-hour shift tonight and I've had 2 hours of sleep today. Wish me luck. Good luck, man. I'm used to being a zombie. I got about 4.5 last night. I work 24-hour shifts. So sometimes 4.5 is all you're going to get. I've had nights where I get like 20 minutes of sleep. I've had nights where I sleep through the night and you wake up and you're like, holy shit, I slept through the night? What the hell is going on? But good luck. It's no fun working when you're running on fumes. I know the feeling, man. But hopefully you'll be able to kind of rest a little bit and it won't be Actually, I find that the slower things are at work, the more tired you get. Like if I'm running all day and we're going, then I don't really get tired. It's when I sit down and take a load off is when I get super tired, But anyway, I appreciate that, Metallic. Best of luck to you. Hopefully it goes by quick. Boat, thank you so much for the super chat channel support as well. Boat says, have you revisited any Legend stuff lately? Cheers. I was reading or rereading Heir to the Empire not too long ago. I had a hard time getting into it. I read it when I was in middle school, probably in like 96 or something like that. But I had a hard time getting into it this time around. I didn't think it was as great as, that I remember, and maybe that's a lot of, outside influence. But I just don't remember it being as, I don't think it's as great as a lot of people say it is. I was kind of surprised not to just gush all over it and love it. But other than that, no, I haven't checked any Legend stuff out lately, I guess. Right now I'm actually reading Thrawn Treason. So if I'm reading a Star Wars book, it's gonna be like a new canon book for sure. Just because I kind of want to continue. You've had similar experiences revisiting some of the old books. Interesting. Yeah, back in the day, Boat, I wasn't much of a Star Wars reader, especially not as a kid. I really didn't start reading Star Wars books heavily until probably about like 7 years ago or so. Yeah, back in the day, I wasn't that much of a reader. Like, I was a huge reader in middle school. Middle school and elementary school, I read a ton. And I just loved, like, Goosebumps and, like, spooky books, But once I hit high school, I read a little bit, but I definitely didn't read as much as I used to. And I didn't really get back into reading until really my daughter was born about 5 years ago. Like when she was born, I bought a Kindle and I just started reading a ton of books. The first book that I read on my Kindle was like a horror book. I can't even remember the name of it. And then I read Last Shot, the Han Solo book. And then I read like the Ahsoka novel. And I just started going down a rabbit hole of reading stuff. But yeah, anyway. I appreciate that, Boat. Oscar Rodriguez, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Oscar says, I always thought Sebastian Shaw's old fatherly voice would have been perfect for TLJ, where Luke fades into the Force, accepting his father's call. There is, maybe it's pure nostalgia. Let me take a quick sip here. Maybe it's pure nostalgia, but I love Sebastian Shaw as it's what I also love about it is, or him in the role. And for those who maybe don't know, Sebastian Shaw is when Vader is unmasked at the end of Return of the Jedi, he plays Vader under the mask. He was the original Darth Vader Force Ghost. But you watch Return of the Jedi, and there's Darth Vader is this monstrous, sinister, half man, half machine. He's so terrifying, and he's like you know, he's just the embodiment of power. And then, you know, he takes off his mask. His mask is taken off of him, and he's this vulnerable old man. And I love that. It's you know, it's the complete opposite. You see what a vulnerable individual he is without the suit, without you know, this menacing presence. But yeah, I also love the conversation, you know, tell your sister you were right. And I loved him as the Force Ghost. I just always thought he was I mean, obviously you should never change those movies, but I thought it was a great fit. But yeah, I'm with you, Oscar. I like it. Solid idea. It would be a very subtle Easter egg too. Like, people would be like, yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Oscar. Andrew Smith, thank you so much. And Brandon. Andrew says, as a firefighter, what do you... Oh, hold on, one sec.
Just got a little movie recommendation for you. Interstate 60 stars James Marsden, Gary Oldman, and Christopher Lloyd. Think you'd really enjoy it. Seen any good movies recently? Nice.
Ricky, thank you so much for the generous super chat and channel support this evening. I appreciate that. Give me one sec. Andrew Smith asks, as a firefighter, what do you think of shows like 911 and their portrayal of firefighters? I don't watch any of that stuff. Is 911 like a reality show? What, 911 show? It is. Okay, 911. So it's, okay, I see. Lone Star seasons, right? I've never watched those shows. I do know some guys who at the department who watch those shows, and sometimes they'll have them on. They're funny to me because they're so, I mean, obviously it's a show and they have to over dramatize things and whatnot, and have all these conflicts and shit like that. I've never experienced anything like that on the job. People are really cool and laid back. And you know, things become so routine, even fires. But I mean, you want to avoid complacency, but you know, you go to it's funny, shows like that, they never show really the like 95% of what we do is medical calls. So like, you might just have a call that comes out as difficulty breathing, and you go, maybe you got to put them on oxygen, maybe you don't, maybe you just drive them to the hospital. So like, if those shows were real, 95% of the show would just be like, hey, do you want to go to the hospital? Hey, oh, your stomach hurts? All right, well, we can't really do anything to see what's wrong with your stomach. Do you want to go to the hospital and get it checked out? Like, that's 95% of what we do, you know? The other 5% is fires and crazy medical calls, or maybe vehicle extrications. Which are, yeah, I've had some, and yeah, you can imagine. But also, like, any firefighter show that you see, the ones that I've seen at least, their masks are so huge, like comically huge, and they're like 3 times bigger than the SCBA masks that we wear. And obviously that's so you can see the actor's face. And they're always like lit up from the inside, which would be terrible. Why would you want the inside of your mask lit up with lights? I know it's because the camera needs to see the actor. But like, can you? I mean, you've been go into your car and flip on all the interior lights at night. You can't see shit outside. It would be the same thing, you know. So a lot of that stuff is silly. But no, for the most part, I've never really watched those shows. I've never really seen those shows. I kind of avoid, like shows like that. I kind of avoid, I guess, maybe even reality shows where they actually travel with cops or firefighters and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll watch a documentary. There's a few good ones. There's a good one about Detroit, their fire department, and what they're dealing with. But no, I don't watch that stuff. I mean, like, it's a job. And would you want to watch a show about your job? No. When I come home, man, it all goes out the window, and I don't want. I mean, sometimes I'll occasionally I will watch a training video that somebody's posted on YouTube. There's a few firefighters that I follow on YouTube, and they post really good training videos and like what not to do and what to look out for in certain situations. And late at night, if I'm playing a game, an MMO or something like that on my computer, I'll just drag over a YouTube video that they've made for 30 minutes, just on my other monitor. But nah, I don't really watch stuff when I'm home. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. There we go. Let's see. Brandon. Good to see you, Brandon. Hope you're doing well. Brandon says... One sec. I just got actually a text from the department. Never mind. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Brandon says, "Hey Greedo, I turn 30 tomorrow. Do you think your 30s are better than your 20s? What's something you learned in your 30s you wish you knew in your 20s?" Oh man, this is a tough question, man. You're 30? I guess like I've known you for so long that I still see you as that, that kid. That's crazy to me, man. 30. For me, from my experience, I feel better now than I did all throughout my 20s, physically and mentally. Like, I was a slob in my 20s. I didn't take care of myself. Probably most 20-somethings don't either. I really started taking care of myself a few years ago. Like, really when my daughter was born, I'd say. Best shape of my life. So from that respect, my 30s are way. I mean, I could kick the shit. I'm 37. I could kick the shit out of my 21-year-old self. I get in a fight, but also like just running and anything, mentally. But anything that I learned in my 30s that I wish I knew in my 20s. Not really lessons or things that I learned. There's things that I wish I would have done. I wish I would have pursued this career much earlier than I did. I wish I would have focused a little more. I wish I would have... I don't know. There's nothing really specific. But yeah, I think personally, my 20s and my 30s were very different. So far, at least. In my 20s, it was just me and my wife, and we bought a house downtown Jacksonville, and we just like lived it up. It was me and her. We go to the breweries, go to restaurants all the time, ride our bikes all around the city. But then when we got into our 30s, we had our daughter. Life massively changed. We moved out to the suburbs. We both have our own careers. We have a kid now, and just life is very different. So it's two different existence, man. And that's true of anybody with kids, I'm sure. Unless you're a scumbag and you're just and you live like you're 21 and when you're 40. But no, I mean, like, I never concerned myself with numbers, ages. Like I said, I'm 37. I feel better than I ever have in my entire life. And you know, I'm sure a lot of people say that, but goddamn, it's true. Like, yeah. But if everybody in the chat could do me a big favor and wish Brandon a happy, happy birthday, I would greatly appreciate it. Happy birthday, man. Happy 30th. What are you guys doing on your 30th? Anything fun? Anything fun and exciting? If not, that's good too. You're 30, man. Kick your feet up. But congratulations. Congratulations on making it to 30. You were 23. That's crazy. That is crazy. Nice. 30. But I appreciate that, man. Happy birthday. Ricky, Evans, Minato, and Metallic, thank you guys so much for these super chats. Ricky says, Evening Greedo, hope all is well. Just got a little movie recommendation for you. Interstate 60. Stars James Marsden, Gary Oldman, and Christopher Lloyd. Think you'd really enjoy it. Seen any good movies recently? Let me look this up. Oh, that sounds like the perfect little get-together there, Brandon. Perfect. I'm a big fan of games. I like playing games. I like playing cards. I like playing, you know, you said beer pong, cornhole. I love that kind of stuff. So that's right up my alley, too. Hell yeah. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Take lots of pictures. Enjoy it. Ricky, let me look this up. Ricky said Interstate 60. Interstate 60. 2002. Oh, wow. Okay. I've never heard of this. Amy Smart. A young man with questions about his future takes the ultimate road trip across America and learns valuable lessons from a variety of strange characters. Michael J. Fox is in it? Interstate 60. Huh. Okay. An inspiring painter meets various characters and learns valuable lessons while traveling across America. I'm kind of surprised. There's not very many reviews. There's only 4 critic reviews. Huh. I've never heard of this. I'm gonna keep it up, but I've never heard of this. Interesting. I recently watched that what was it on Hulu? That James, oh no, maybe it was on Amazon. That like reality, that jury duty reality show that James Marsden was on. I thought it was pretty good. Clever concept, you know. But have we seen any good movies recently? We haven't really watched any movie in a while. Golly, the last movie that we watched was Oppenheimer, which was great. But no, we don't watch too many movies these days. Really, just because, you know, by the time we settle down on the couch, my daughter might be it might be like 9 o'clock at night, and then you know, it's time to relax. And tonight we're actually watching the new Indiana Jones, so I'm excited for that. But and most of the time we just watch like a 30-minute show or an hour-long show and then scroll around on YouTube. But no, we haven't really watched anything recently that comes to mind. Other shows we just finished the latest season of What We Do in the Shadows, which is hilarious. We just finished the latest season of The Great, which is a good show. We are about to start the latest season of The Bear. Other than that, we haven't really been watching much. But I hope I like it, JFO show. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going in to have fun. We'll see. But Rick, yeah, I appreciate that, man. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Evans, Minato, Metallic, thank you guys for the channel support. Before I hop off here and we turn on a little Indiana Jones. Let's see. Yeah, anyway. Let's see. I got Evans. Thank you so much, man. Evans says, going to watch the Dark Knight trilogy in the theater tomorrow. I was 6 when Rises came out, so I never got the chance to see them in the theaters before. That's crazy. 6 when Dark Knight Rises. When was that? 2015? No, is it newer than that? Dark Knight Rises? Dark Knight Rises. Oh, 2012. It's older than that. 2012. Okay, damn. 11 years old. Wow. Okay. I would have guessed it was newer than that. Time is a ticking, man. Yeah, I saw all of them in the theater. There were great theater going experiences. We were up. Me and my buddies were up on a mountain trip, and what we try to do every year is rent a cabin together. There's 7 of us, and it must have been 2012 because we were up in the mountains, and the movie came out when we were up there, the Dark Knight Rises, that is. And we went and saw it at a little theater, I think, or maybe we saw it when we got back. I don't remember, but. Yeah, I enjoy it. It's hard to believe that they're that old already. Golly, time is flying. But yeah, I saw the Dark Knight on in IMAX, which was a hell of an experience. That opening sequence, just big, on the biggest goddamn screen you've ever seen. It was amazing. Yeah. I haven't seen The Dark Knight Rises probably since 2012. I don't think I've watched it again since then, but I really enjoyed that trilogy for sure. Let me know how it goes, Evans. All 3 of them are playing like back to back and you're sitting through them. That is stamina. But anyway, I appreciate that, man. Enjoy it. Report back when you after you see it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But yeah, I appreciate that, Evans. Let's see. All right. Yeah, but on $4 movie day, I saw 4 movies, so I'll be fine. Oh, nice. That's a lot. Back in the day, I would for sure do that. But if you were 6 when The Dark Knight Rises came out in 2012, how old? So you were born in 2000 and you were born in 2006. So 2000. Oh, that's crazy to me. That's crazy. 2020. We're in 2023. 2006. 17. Maybe you turned 18 already. Nice. Enjoy it. Big bowl of popcorn. Have some fun. Minato and Metallic, thank you guys for coming in with the final super chats. Minato says Disney is being sued over hiding Disney Plus losses. With this lawsuit, we might see just how much Disney Plus is really losing. Can Disney Plus ever be profitable? I hadn't heard of this. I mean, you know me. We've talked about this before. I don't really pay attention to like the finances of things and the performance of things. It's crazy to me how these streaming services sometimes are not profitable. Like, is it streaming services across the board, or is it just Disney that is? Actually, I started this in 2011. My first video was uploaded in 2011. But I actually made the channel in 2007. So if you look at the channel's About page on YouTube, it says created in 2007, but I never did anything with it until 2011. It's kind of crazy. But I don't know how it couldn't be profitable. That's just crazy to me. I don't understand the nuances. I don't understand the behind the scenes. I don't understand the details. I don't understand from a financial point of view. I don't know. It does bum me out because, like, we went to turn on Wall-E today. We were all just, me and my wife and my kid were hanging out upstairs. We decided to have like a little picnic upstairs and watch, just turn on a movie while we ate. And Disney movies on Disney Plus now have commercials. And I'm like, damn it, like, what? It used to be so cheap, and I understand increasing prices, whatever. And now there's commercials? Like, don't we pay to not have commercials? I don't know. Fat Man says it took Netflix a decade to be profitable, so Disney Plus has potential to be at some point. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really concern myself with that kind of stuff. I don't get into all the... all streaming besides Netflix have never been profitable. That's just crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't quite understand. But yeah. Yeah, for sure, Fat Man. Double dipping. But I appreciate that, Minato. We shall see. We shall see. And Metallic, thank you for coming in with the final super chats of the stream. Metallic said, there's a chapter of Shadow of the Sith where Anakin's Force Ghost appears to Luke and he's flickering between looking old and young. It's pretty cool. Oh, that's a fun concept. He also says, since we're on the topic of age, it's crazy that I've been watching you for 10 years. I was 13 when I found your channel and I'm now 23. That is crazy. That's crazy. That's a different human right there. 13-year-old and a 23-year-old watching the same goofball on the internet. I'm different than I was back then too, you know. I mean, my age difference isn't as drastic. I started this thing when I was 25. I'm 37 now. I've changed a lot, but not like a 13-year-old to a 23-year-old. That's crazy. That's pretty wild, man. But thanks for tuning in all these years. You've gone along. You've seen a lot of different iterations of this channel for sure. But I like that idea. That's a fun visual. I don't, you know, it'd be cool to see something like that in live action. I mean, I guess we kind of got that with Ahsoka's little vision of Anakin and Vader. As he's walking through like the mist, right? And there's flashes of Vader walking towards her, but yeah, I like that. I've never read Shadow of the Sith, but when did that come out? 2022. All right. I don't know what Star Wars book I'm going to read next. After I'm reading Thrawn Treason right now, so after I read that, I'll probably I like to take a break from reading Star Wars books after I finish a Star Wars book. So I don't know what I'll read next, but when I go back to reading a Star Wars book, I'll have to make a decision on what I want to read. Maybe it'll be Shadows of the Sith. I don't know. But anyway, I appreciate that, Metallic. Cheers, and thanks for tuning in all these years, man. 10 years is a long time. But, alright guys, I got a jet. Gonna start Indiana Jones. Hopefully my daughter doesn't wake up during it. She's been waking up a lot, like at 11 o'clock or midnight. So if she does, we're not going to be able to finish the movie. So I'm hoping she stays in her bed and continues to sleep. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not counting on it. But anyway. Cheers. Oh, Monado, thank you so much for coming in with a final super chat of the stream. Monado says, you have been around so long that you have partly raised some kids, then watching you as kids and now turning into adults. Read Lost Stars. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I started this thing when life was carefree and I just got out of the military, and like me and my wife were just living in a little house downtown and doing whatever we wanted. And you know, through the years, different jobs and, you know, situations, and my daughter was born, and like building a new house and just starting a new career. There's so much that has changed since I started this channel, and the one thing that's really been constant is this channel. It's kind of neat, but it's kind of cool to have a lot of you guys you know, ride this wave with me and see how I've changed, and I'm sure you have changed as well. You know, it's fun. It's fun. I guess I've been watching like Angry Video Game Nerd, Red Letter Media, all that stuff for as long as you guys have been watching me, which is crazy to think about. Like, who the hell am I? Why are you watching me? You know, why are you listening to little old me? But yeah, Lost Stars, I actually own it. I own the audiobook version. And as soon as because I planned on listening to it on a road trip, I never did. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to listen to it on my commute to work. I haven't. So what I need to do is just buy the Kindle version and read it. You know, that's like the #1 Star Wars book that gets recommended to me all the time. So yeah, I'll probably end up reading. Maybe that'll be the next Star Wars book that I read. Maybe that'll be the one, you know. But anyway, I appreciate that, Monado. All right, I got a jet. All right, everybody, enjoy the rest of your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are on planet Earth. Thanks to everybody who supported the channel. I greatly appreciate that. But all right, I don't know when the next time I will see will be, but I'll be here. I'll be here soon. All right, everybody, have a good one. Be safe. See ya.